Hey everyone, welcome back. Doug here at Vanstrom Performance. I'm going to do an update here on this Godzilla build. It's been a few days since I posted my first video. We've done a lot of work. Got the car stripped. Most of it, all the interior's out, all the wiring is out of the car. At least the engine harness, the ECU, all the wiring behind the dash, the lighting harness, everything of that nature. The engine is under the hood of the car. The brake lines and everything, just pulled everything out. We wanted to start from scratch. So obviously the old transmission, K-member, everything's all gone, all the old suspension. The stock struts are still in there for now, just because we're waiting for the new Vikings Crusader shocks to come in from John Frank at R&J Dyno up in Batavia. He hooked us up with those. We got a set of double adjustable Viking Crusaders for that. We're still figuring out what we're going to do with the rear. The owner, Rob Brown, is going to come down tomorrow. We're going to go over a huge list of stuff that I have laid out that as far as making some final decisions on what we're going to do as far as wiring, what type of street amenities we're going to leave in the car, what we're going to do with the rear end. We have a pretty good idea. I mean, I know I'm narrowing the rear a little bit. We're changing out the housing ends, changing the axles, changing to a spool. But I got to set it all up and brace it. And so I just kind of want to go over that plan with him as far as all of that. Suspension. The car has factory torque boxes in it, no reinforcements, no welding. So the decisions need to be made, you know, where we're going to go, and I'll make my recommendations and he can go from there. The K-member, I bolted that right to the engine while it was on the engine stand. Took the exhaust manifolds off and slid it under the car, dropped the car over it, bolted it in. You can see that here. That was fast. I've never worked so fast in my life. Anyway, before we get too far into this, I would like anybody that's watching this to please subscribe to the channel. If you can, like it, share it, do whatever you got to do. I know I'm not on my way to be this big, huge YouTube star, but anything will help me. You know what I mean? That's not my main goal for all this. It's to just have a cool channel that I can share some of the builds that we have going on. But what I'm going to do for anybody that subscribes to my channel, whether you've been subscribed or not, if it doesn't matter if you're new, subscriber, old, if you like and share and answer this question, this is going to be for one person. The first person that can answer this question in the comments on the YouTube channel, not on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else where this gets posted. You got to go to my YouTube channel. And this is not for family, because to be honest, I wasn't sure. I had to think about it myself, but I think family gets an advantage. So I want somebody to tell me how many Mustangs I've owned in my life. Not Fords, because nobody can count that high, or cars for that matter. But how many Mustangs have I owned in my life? Whether I've kept them for a long time, for a short time, driven them, not driven them, turned them into a race car, whatever. Cars that I have personally owned, Mustangs. Whether it's classics, Foxbody, it doesn't matter. Mustang, Mustang, Mustang. Whoever can guess that number right, the first person, like, subscribe, share, and answer the question, get you this fancy Haltech light. It's telescoping. Has a fancy bender on the end. Does work. I'm not going to send you a piece of crap. And it's magnetic on both sides. So those are the rules. Like, subscribe, share. Guess how many Mustangs I have. The first person that gets it right, I'll send you this. So let's get back to the build here. Like I said, the engine is in the car, as you have seen. It looks really cool. It fits in there really well. The rack, a little tight. It's the rack is right up against the oil pan to the point where I can't slide it over the mounts. So I think I'm going to wait until the new oil pan from 417 gets here before I do any modifying or grinding of the rack in order to get it in place. And I just really don't want to grind it on if I don't have to. So a couple things I have working. I have a local transmission shop that has a 6R80 case, a Turbo 400 case. I'm buying those because this car is going to be eventually going to Ultimate Headers just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, to have the headers made. They're going to use this car as a mock-up for a swap header for Coyote and a Fox. So I told them that I would get them a 6R80 case because that's going to be a common swap for these cars. Obviously, we're doing a Turbo 400 in this one, but 6R80, they want to build a header that they know is going to clear a 6R80 and a 400 and everything else. That'll be good for this setup. So it's really cool that somebody took some interest in this. I gotta thank my buddy Nick Todaro. He helped out a lot in getting that all hooked up. So anyway, a couple more parts I didn't show you before. Team Z camber caster plates, the Team Z rack sitting under the car, some offset bushings, stuff like that. We have the Flaming River Flaming River steering shaft we are going to use. And then I'll go around and show you some other things that we have going. All right, there's the engine in the car. It is a tubed front end. Not tube chassis, but just a tubed front end. It doesn't go all the way into the cage. It's just gave us a lot of room. I was able to get a diagram from ProCharged so I could measure the distances that I needed from here to here and make sure that I was going to be okay and clear everything. Guy on Facebook hooked me up with a pinout for this, and I have a lot of cool stuff coming from Maven and B2T Engineering. So we have some bulkhead connectors, so two 29-pin bulkhead connectors, some Radlock connectors, and some other stuff that are going to be going into this car, as well as my car, John Frank's Mustang, and Ray McDougall's Mustang. So we have a bunch of stuff coming from Maven for that. If anybody needs anything from Maven, let me know. We got this brake manual master cylinder setup. It's a strange manual master cylinder. We got that from Sam Vincent Performance, along with some other stuff I'll show you here. Everything's out of the car for the most part. The tranny tunnel's a little butchered from somebody that put a shifter in it, but I'll make a cool piece that fits over top of that and hides all that. Let's see here. It's hard to see, but this is, I drilled the brake pedal for the new master cylinder so we get more lever action on it. I know we're going to keep the power windows and power door locks and some of that other stuff with the new wiring setup. Has 4 lug axles with C-clip eliminators, stock location springs and shocks. Like I said, I'm going to talk with him. We're going to come up with a game plan for this rear end. So Rob Braun's supposed to be coming down tomorrow, and we can hammer out some of that. There's a pile of parts that we've pulled out of the car. Heater box, AC box, K-member, old rack, H-pipe, HVAC stuff, old clutch lever. in a gob of wiring that I need to work through. There is a ton of weight in all the wiring that comes in these cars. And obviously we want to lighten it up some. I'm not sure why, but there was 2 ignition boxes in this car. It had a crane, high 6TR, HI 6TR, and it had a Vortec ignition boost control box, along with 2 dials. Boost, I mean, it had a supercharger on it, so it's not like they were really using boost control. And I had 2 knobs, one for ignition timing control and one for boost timing control, which are pretty much the same. This was not cool. I'll show if I can show that. This is an isolator, fuel pressure isolator. It goes in the car to a gauge. And what we found was when I took the hose off that went into the car to the pillar, it was full of gas. So this was not working. And that's not good. Not good, because there was gas inside the car, at the pillar, in the gauge. Do not mind my mess, please. I have like 7 projects going on at once and have no room for everything. It's the Turbo 350 that came out of the car. We have some strange 9-inch ends, and we got some strange rear drag brakes. It looks like that's going to work just well. Just fine, not just well. I'm not even going to edit that because I don't care. So, strange rear disc brakes, strange Foxbody front brakes, all from Sam at Vincent Performance. Let's see here, 8/8 strange yoke for the, so we can put a little bit more power to this beast and try not to break it. We got a box of U-bends from Dan Seitz at High Performance Motorsports. A box of 2-valve pistons. These came from Haltech Shop. So that's for a 2-valve that I'm building for a guy with a supercharger on it, Bobby. So we're glad those are here. I got a bunch more stuff coming from Haltech Shop, and a bunch more stuff coming from NPR. Actually, my head gaskets just showed up from NPR. Super excited about that. Those are at the machine shop with my block, getting line honed and getting some O-ring, small O-rings put in the block. So I have a bunch of motor store part. I'll get into that in another video. Just kind of wanted to give you an update of what's going on here. Moving along. We're just going to try to keep pushing as hard as we can until we run out of parts. And then we'll pull something else in, try to finish that up. And then I'll throw up another video on that. Thanks for tuning in. Again, like, share, subscribe to my channel, and make a guess. How many Mustangs have I owned in my life? Maybe you can win this fancy little Haltech shop light. Thank you.